And we are back, Odell's Roundtable, and we are joined by my guest. Let me give an introduction. Let me see, where do I want to start, right? Event planner, promoter. We're talking about, I've seen go from modest to events, Memorial Drive, the atrium, to raising the bar, setting the bar, I'll say, for your Friday night upscale parties in Atlanta downtown at multiple venues, Thrive, different things like that, and taking that and going to having events like your 1996 at multiple different ballrooms to recently having it at Georgia Freight Depot, thousands of people with some of the best sound systems from all over the world playing.
Still modest.
Now he's being modest. He's being modest, right? Taking that into, I'm talking about going into from a lot of advice and tips he probably was giving for free to now doing what he's doing with the customer Mojo and whatnot, to even just being a father, to being someone who's just a positive, cool person, always providing good vibes. Without further ado, I have my friend Leon Brown, a.k.a. Trends, in the house. How are you doing, sir?
I'm doing amazing. And it's amazing to be here from Legacy and drives from Alabama to now we're hanging out years later.
Oh, man.
That's
So,
like, how many years ago was that?
man, listen. So let me tell y'all. So like I said, I showcased and highlighted first about Trends throwing parties, right? So the ironic thing is that I would come up from Alabama, right? So I went to, a lot of people know I grew up and went to high school and college in Montgomery, Alabama. But I went to college for a little bit in Huntsville.
Okay.
And Huntsville had a really strong Caribbean community.
Got you.
And they had, it's a school called Oakwood College. I'm not sure if you're familiar with it. So Oakwood is like one of the few black 7-day Adventist schools in the world.
Okay.
Right, so people like Brian McKnight went there and this and that. So they had like a real strong Caribbean community
Really?
from New York, different like that. So I messed around and one time went to a party. I had never seen nothing like this, man. I was like, oh my goodness. I mean, just the music, the dance hall, the women, just the flags and everything.
What's this?
I had a blast. And so when I got back to Montgomery, of course, there was nothing like that.
Right.
And I never forget, I was at school and I was just in the college lab, and I said, man, I got to find a party.
Yeah.
And I looked up online, and I don't know how, I found a party that says Thrown by Trends, and I had a homeboy living in Atlanta. I said, yo, I'm going to come up. And I said, I got to stage your place and go to this party. I was like, you want to go? He was like, I ain't going to no party. He's like, you don't know these people. And I was like, I'm going to go. He's like, where's it at? I was like, it's on Memorial Drive. He's like, what? He's
Like,
like,
this is like way back.
way back.
This is before Google reviews. And
So listen,
all that stuff.
what's so funny, this is way back before, this is so much before Google and stuff that I had to map quest the place.
What?
You know what I'm saying?
Now you're dating yourself.
I'm dating
MapQuest.
myself. I had to map quest the place. I map quested and I was like, okay, Memorial Drive and everything. I get there, so I get to the party, and it brought back memories of me being in Huntsville. But it's even better. I was like, wow, the music and everything was just great. So
Yeah.
at the same time, I was by myself, and so I had to go back, and I'm leaving the party, and I never forget, I'm leaving the party, and I don't even know how, or even sure how even Rachel even knew, but she was just like, hey, she's like, are you the guy that came from Alabama? And I was just like, yeah, and I was like, she was like, well, wait a minute, hold on, and you came out, and you shook my hand, you were like, whoa, man, he's like, how'd you even find out about me? And I was like, man, I
Because
just,
that's when we had like a message board.
yes, see, now you know what, you helping me out, so.
People don't even know about message boards right now.
But the thing about that night though is that I just felt so appreciated, because I drove up from Alabama, came to the party, really didn't know any people that much, and I'm still, trying to watch, but it's just different,
yeah.
even though I'm kind of more of a social person, at the same time, whole new environment
It's a
sometimes.
brand new city.
Brand new city, you don't want to necessarily, that's somebody's girl or something, just all kind of stuff, so I had a good time, but now the thing about it though, when I was leaving out, you were so appreciative. And then you said, come back, man. Come back to another place, man. Let me know when you come back.
Right.
Come back a party. So what was it about you as far as like how do you make people feel so appreciated at your events? Because I get that from multiple people when they come to a Trends event.
Wow, I think it's so much of
Put more to your mouth.
like my mom used to be like that.
Okay.
So like even before events, like we used to do a lot of events at home, which I don't talk much about, but like
Okay.
we used to have like these huge events at home, and people used to feel appreciated. when they showed up, like whatever walk of life you were from.
Yeah.
You might know people, you might not know people, but you know, it's good to welcome people and appreciate people, because like you didn't have to drive like all the way from God knows where to show up to an event. I'm like, yo, you have to appreciate that.
Right,
you know?
right,
and I
right.
think like over the years, like people have felt the same way, like whether it's Thrive, whether it's the big events or whatever, like people appreciate that you're not just a number. You know what I'm saying? You're not just a $20 ticket or whatever.
Yeah.
It's, yo, you could have spent that $20, whatever it is, anywhere. You could have spent your time anywhere. You could have been on your couch just chilling. And then you spend that money and you drove all the way from like Alabama. I have to appreciate that for sure.
And you know, it's funny too. Speaking, going back to Alabama, I get asked all the time, right? Because a lot of my Alabama friends and people they're like, Odell, like, how in the world have you made so many, you know, friends from the Caribbean, right? So many friends that have roots back to Jamaica, Trinidad, Virgin Islands, all that kind of stuff, right? And you mentioned something. I was going to go there. You reading my notes, man.
I'm jumping over the notes. I got you.
So the thing was the UT message board,
right?
And what's so amazing about that, like I said, we're dating ourselves, but that message board. And it was
like MySpace now. Before
that, man, it was just the UT message board, and this is like right when I had one of my first jobs where I had sit down at a desk and get online, you know what I'm saying? So half the people on the message board were just sitting at their desk, spending their time on the UT message board. True. But the thing about that message board, though, was so clever and was so great about it, and how it led on to different events and party animals. Like it created a community to where I look back now, as we sit here on this couch, to friends that we've seen to get married and things like that. To, you know, I mean,
people got pregnant.
Yeah, I mean, it's so long, but it was that community feel. Like, what was that? You had the once again, you're always kind of ahead of the curve. You had the idea of like, wait a minute, you know what? I'm gonna keep this message board going. I'm gonna use it. But not even in the sense that you used it like it was all marketing. You allowed us to create with it. Right. It became, you had like personalities to the point where I might have went 8-9 years before I knew people's real names because I knew people by their screen names for so long.
Right. It's kind of like how you know people by their IG name.
Exactly.
I think so. One thing with Georgia versus like many other cities like a New York or Miami or wherever is that like you have communities there, but Georgia just seems so spread out. So you can't, like, somebody lives in Marietta, lives in Stone Mountain, lives in Decatur, lives all over these different places. Like, there was no real way to
hub.
There's no hub. You know what I'm saying? So it's
Great point.
Yo, let's create a hub where everybody could communicate, where build relationships. And beyond the message board, people had like created their own like meetups, let's hang out or whatever.
Right.
That's what community is about. You know, that's what friendships are about. And beyond, like you said, beyond the parties, beyond trends or whatever, like that message board has created how much years ago? I don't even, like 15 years, 15 to 17 years ago.
Yes.
Like a lot of those people like Rondu and
Dre
and
Gio,
like all of these people have kept those relationships, and that's impressive. Like a lot of times people hold relationships from high school or from elementary school, and because you're in the US, people like, you know, split up and go all over the place and move because of jobs and families or whatever. But even though people disband, like people still, from the message board, from the events, people still connect, and they're like, we're still friends after all that time, which is amazing. So it's all about community at the end of the day.
Well, also too, I mean, and even with that, you're not even expand on the fact that all the Florida connections, the people from Florida. I mean, and as people went on, but it was so genius in the sense too of, like you said, it was never a thing where you had the wherewithal to be smart to say, you know what, I could be hands off as well. You know what I'm saying? Let it go where it needs to go.
I think that's something over the years where, like, we've never ever wanted to be promoters. You know what I'm saying? So like when people think about promoters, they have this negative stigma. They think about the dude standing in the corner ready to beat you over the head with a flyer.
Right. Putting it all on your car
right. And we've always been like, we should facilitate community and that relationship, and then the events is like a back end, right? It's never, I'm gonna shove this event coming up down your throat.
Yeah.
So I think we've always been, hey, we're here, we're facilitating the community.
Right.
And by the way, we have an event like a month down the line. But because all of these people built a relationship, all these friends built a relationship that end up being our friends. It's like, oh, we're having a get together, basically.
Right.
At the end of the day, a month down the line.
Well, also too, if you think about it, you know, in business terms, right? They say create raving fans.
Right. True.
Right.
True.
Right.
You
Like
want that 1,000 raving fans.
Yeah. You want 1,000 raving fans, and so you were doing, like I said, once again, a lot of these things that I'm talking about. The trends done. He did a lot of these things way early. I'm not sure if sometimes if you knew it or he didn't know, but you were creating raving fans. I mean, even leading up to the interview, I hit Dre up. I said, "Let me ask Dre something." I said, "Man, give me some reason why you've been rocking with trends for so long." And he was just saying one of the things he told me was, this is a mutual friend of ours, Dre. He was saying that it's the consistency. And he was saying that also if he has a friends come from out of town, he knows without question he can invite them to the event. It's going to be great. They're going to enjoy themselves. Don't have to worry about the nonsense. And I think that's the thing about it too. Like you said, you create this community where it's not a thing where I came to the first event, like I said, I really didn't know people, this and that. And then it went from coming to another event, and then it went from you saying, hey, you know, and I don't know if you remember this as well, but you were like, hey, you know what? We got the Atlanta Carnival coming up, and we got a band coming. Like, you want to be in it,
right?
And I was
that was the caution band.
The caution band, yeah.
right.
Yes,
right.
I was. Yes,
right. Yeah. Wow.
And so I'm sitting there. So I remember telling my friends,
we're old.
We're not young anymore. I remember telling my friends back in Alabama, they were like, so wait a minute, you're telling me you're going to be in the Atlanta Reggae Carnival? I was like, yeah. They're like, okay.
It's like, something's wrong with you, dude.
They're like, sure.
Like, so to Dre's point, like a lot of people don't know. So like how I even got into events was like in college, we used to go to like on the east side and just the events that was like kind of rough, you know what I'm saying? But it was our only outlet. It was like, this is where we need to go to like hear our music, to participate in our culture. And like fast forward one day, my best friend at the time, Charles, like that was one of the few times I didn't go out.
Okay.
And he called me on a Sunday like, yo, I'm at the hospital.
Whoa.
And I'm like, what you mean?
Yeah.
Like, we were at this concert on wherever side. But his girlfriend at the time got shot. One of our friends at the time like got grazed by a bullet. Shot sounds dramatic.
Right.
But it was kind of like
the violent situation.
Yeah, it's kind of like we are used to a certain type of event, but because we didn't have it, we're like, let's go seek it elsewhere. And then it got dangerous for us. So imagine like your parents spent all of this money to send you to college.
Right.
And then you get a phone call like, yeah, we were partying and we almost got shot. Like, seriously.
Whoa.
So from there, the focus on quality and consistency of maintaining the quality was, we need to create something that's for us.
Right.
That's quality, that makes us feel safe. And like you said, like, we have friends from so many different walks of life that bring co-workers from PwC and all of these different places that, you know, so it's like, okay, a lot of times people pigeonhole the Caribbean to shatas. And it's like, no, there's an alternative where it's fun, it's safe, it's clean, and it's consistently good.
Yes.
You know, and that's, from that point on, it's like, yo, let's create that.
Right.
And there were enough friends and community and relationships that said, we want this too.
Yeah, we enjoy this.
And from there, it's like, we just ran with it. So like so even that first event, people are like, Leon doesn't know anything about throwing a party. Like,
what is he?
Like this dude?
What's he doing?
This square dude? I'm like, but there were enough people in the community that said, I want quality. And I want something that I'm proud of, and that I could bring my coworker, and that an Odell could drive from Alabama and say, yo, this is dope.
This is dope.
I don't want to bring more people to experience this on a good level. So that's how even trends came about. It was just like let's do something that we're proud of. Yeah. A lot of people don't know that. Yeah. A lot of people just thought like, yeah, we just threw a dance one day.
Well, that's why I'm glad I said that with you, because also too, it's so funny you say that, because you have made me look so cool sometimes to some of my friends from Alabama, because I've brought friends, and the funny thing about it was, I remember saying that because a couple of my friends that came up, and I was like, yo, so we're gonna go to this trends party, and they were like, man, I don't really know about going to this reggae party, right? Some of my friends were real hype, but I was saying, don't think about it as a reggae party. I don't think about it. I'm like, just think about we're going to a quality event. I was like, it's gonna be nice music, and then the word about it's gonna be good looking women there. This and that. And I remember
women are important.
Women are important, and it was one. Oh man, it was a downtown event. I forgot the venue. It was cold. It wasn't, you know where like Crescent Avenue is, right? But it was that one on the side. It was like the building on the side, like. I see. We're really in Atlanta. You got another
been
venues.
So many events, yo.
But it was like not so Crescent Avenue.
Oh, Duplex.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yes. So it was like I forgot what event it was.
Yeah.
But it was. I know it was like my birthday, and that's the funny thing too. Our birthdays are close around it. We're both in April.
Yes.
And
I think you're like a week away from.
Like a week away. So it's my birthday. So I told my buddies to come. I was like, yo, it's my birthday. Come up. And everything. They're like, all right, cool. And I remember we got in there and we're going up and downstairs, this and that, and a couple of my friends were first were like, okay, cool. And then next thing I know, and at the time of girls dating at the time, we were sitting there tripping. I was like, where's T at? Where's T at? She was like, I don't know. I was like, wait a minute, let me go. Let me make sure everything's good. I go downstairs. He's down there, just jamming in a different room. And then I'm like, well, where's Pat at?
Yeah.
And then I'm like, I gotta go find Pat. Pat's in another room jamming. And I remember they were leaving out, and they were like, it's a great event, and you shook their hands and stuff, and they were like, well, it was dope. I was like, no, you did. You met the guy who kind of put it together. They're like, really? But the thing was, to your testament, it didn't come off like, hey, this is my event. Yeah. They just thought like you're just somebody you just met. And
a regular dude. I always tell people I'm the dude that sweep the floors. Like, I don't even know who Trends is.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, literally, we're like, they're like, I thought you were gonna introduce us to the person. I was like, you met him. Yeah. I like you met him an hour ago. Yeah. And they were like, oh, that was him. I was like, yeah. I was like, he's not that dude. He's not.
You look homeless. Who's that dude? No, like I think that again, going back to like mom. Again, it's making people feel comfortable wherever they come from.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying, because at the end of the day, we're just regular people, yo.
Have a good time.
It doesn't matter what accolades you have, how dope the event is, or whatever, because like tomorrow it could be gone.
Yeah,
and we're just people at the end of the day. So
right.
It's always making people feel like good, you know.
Well, and speaking of that too, making people feel good and just making a great impression. I'm literally having lunch today, and I'm getting ready for the show. And a gentleman walks up to me and was like, "Hey, I follow you on Instagram. This is now." I'm like, "Okay, cool." He's like,
"Called you by your IG name?"
Yeah. Talking about IG name. We just talk about that, right? And he was just like, I appreciate your show and your content, and the Beats and Lyrics show, J4. I was like, "Oh, great." So then he comes back. He was like,
"So he really listened."
Yeah. So I was like, "Okay, you really know me." Then he was like, "Hey, he's like, you're interviewing Leon tonight." I was like, "Okay, you really checking out my feed and stuff?" I'm like, "Yeah." He said, "Well, listen, my name is Jeff," and he's like, I helped mentor Leon. Right. I was like, really?
Right.
He said, mention, Atlanta Metropolitan College and stuff.
Wow.
And I said, wow. But he also said something to me, and shout out to Jeff Streets. I made sure I follow him as well.
That mentor for real.
He said, but he said something to me that was really kind of stuck with me and made me think about coming full circle.
Okay.
Right. He said that you guys used to trade tapes. Wow. Cassette tapes of people like Bass Odyssey and Stone Love and things like that. And I bring that up because these same people you were trading cassette tapes of are now playing your events.
Right. That's crazy. I didn't even think about it like that, but shout out to Jeff.
Yeah.
Like, for sure. Jeff was, so Atlanta Metro, like, funny story.
Okay.
One Friday, my parents were like, yeah, you're going to school on Monday. This is in Jamaica.
Okay.
And you're going to school in Atlanta on Monday. I was like, peace out. So it was such a short window where like my cousin is a professor in the AUC.
Okay.
But he didn't want me to go to the AUC because he was like, you'd be distracted.
Yeah.
When the spring came around, I was like, yeah, these women are half naked. I would fail every class.
Yeah, it'd be difficult.
But at the time, it was like, okay, Atlanta Metro had available space at that time, which is like so strange, like a 2-year college. And then I met Jeff.
Yeah.
And I met one of my best friends, Charles.
Okay.
At the same time, you're in the music lab, you're in the computer lab.
Yeah.
And you got your
That's
headphones
where I found the trans
on.
party in the queue.
you have the headphones on, and you hear the sound system like yelling and cussing, and
Yeah.
oh, you listening to reggae? You listening to dancehall, right? Like, where you from? Like, oh, I'm from Guyana. And Jeff is American.
Right, yeah.
But he has a love for the culture.
Yeah, he does,
you know what I'm saying? And then we built a bond over the music, the culture, that type of thing. And Jeff became a mentor in many different ways. In introducing me to like, this is what our culture is like. Like, this is cool. Like, dudes high-fiving you in a different way on the basketball court is not weird. Like you sure? Because like that's kind of strange to me.
Right.
But Jeff's been there for a long time, and Charles still, even though Charles moved from Georgia, like he's still one of my best friends.
Wow.
But like you said, full circle, like the same people that we used to listen to on the tapes.
Yeah.
The bass odysseys, the Stone Love, the Renaissances, the whatever of the worlds, like you know, they're playing at our events, and like that's dope. And I didn't even think about that until you mentioned it. Like, yo, wow, you know.
Well, because he said that to me, and it just hit me so quick because he said that. And he was like, "Yeah, man, he said we used to trade these cassette tapes." He said that's how they built that bond.
Yeah,
how you built that bond. And I was like, "Well, wait a minute," because to me also, and that's what's so funny, right? Because you've always made the event about the event. So I remember going back, and I would hear, you know, like, you know, I went to the event and Black Chinese played, right? Or Renaissance played, Stone Love. And so at the time, you know, my knowledge of it wasn't that in depth.
Right.
So I'd go back to different places and different things, and they were like, after the party, like, who played?
Yeah.
They're like, wait, you saw them? I'm like, yeah. I was like, that's just the regular thing. And so I was like, well, wait a minute. No, this is not a regular thing. I'm like, oh, Renaissance. Oh, Richie
that's a
D.
big thing. Yeah, that's a big deal.
These are big deals. And so when he told me that y'all were trading cassette tapes, and so this is way before all the parties, I was like, well, wow.
Yeah, this is way before, because I'm like, at no point ever I was like, I want to throw events.
Right.
It wasn't until, like I said, that incident where it's like, oh, we need something that represents us.
Yeah.
And even till today, it's still like, events are a young boy sport. Like we're pushing 40, man. Like we're not supposed to be doing no events, but we still feel like we have a responsibility still after all this, like 17 years coming October, like that's crazy.
Yeah.
Where like providing that option of, I feel proud to bring my coworker or my friend to this event, whether it's Thrive, we did that for 7 years, whether it's 1996, whether it's Super Soca, where it's like, now we're producing events at like this ridiculous level where it's like 3,000, 4,000 people coming out. It's like, like all these people could come out and it could look like this and it could represent us in this positive way. So hopefully somebody comes up and like takes that mantle and we could just chill. But like right now, it's like we still got to represent for quality.
Nah, you definitely do. And it's funny too, because you don't do this alone. You know, we're talking, you know, on the show I've talked about the importance of building a good team and having a good team around you, having quality people, and you've done a great job of doing that and highlighting people, whether it be Leo, Kevin, just even the people, like you said, that come to the events because they become so consistent. Dre, Rachel, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, like I think it's like blessed. Like really, like I didn't go out and seek those people. Right. But they kind of gravitate towards, I wanna see this move forward. Right. And I want to support. And people feel invested too. They feel invested because like I said, when I would invite people, I'm like, yes, come to this event.
Yeah.
Like, they're not on a tip of like, no, like I'm telling you, it's a quality event.
Yeah.
It's gonna be a good time. Like, if you don't come, it's fine. I'm like, I'm going
Right. I'm going anyway.
I'm going anyway. So just come and enjoy yourself and getting those people to buy in. But I think, like I said, you've always made it more about the event more than just about yourself.
Yeah, because I mean, I was telling somebody today, I can't put Team Trends on my tombstone. Like, used to rock Atlanta events.
Right.
Yeah, it's about the community. Like, it sounds corny, but like, it's really about the people, and it's about representing us in like this amazing light, and having a team of people. Like, Dre was a part of Team Trends before Leo. And before Kevin, like, we used to beat the streets, hand out flyers. Like, these young guys talking about like, I gotta choose hashtags. Like, we gotta choose heavier jackets to beat the street. You know what I'm saying? From Monday to Sunday. So, like, shout out to Dre, Leo, Kevin, Rachel. Whereas, like, I'm forever indebted to a team of people. Like, we've done this without any praise, without any like,
without any major backing, without somebody.
Yeah, we've taken our L's, we've yelled at each other, we've gone through all of that, but it's like, it's always been a common goal of like, we're gonna rep our community in a positive way. And I've been blessed to. I mean, other people have come where like, it looks dope, I want to make $1 million. I'm like, events don't make $1 million. They're like, what? So I definitely have to shout out and appreciate like everybody who's been a part of the team, where it's like everybody has their role. Like, I'm just like, get people there, but without Rachel doing customer service, without Kevin dealing with the setup and execution of the event, without Leo managing relationships with the different DJs and all of that kind of stuff, and without Dre from jump being like, shout out to Dre, yo, like, like when they talk about the grassroots where you start out and you're eating peanuts, like, Dre was there, yo. So like, Dre is like always been a part of Team Trends, but like, we've done it because of the people, like,
other people.
Yeah.
So going on to like, from, because I mentioned many things that he does, not just the events, to now with your businesses with Customer Mojo, and just the insight, and it's another full circle thing of all these different things you learn from marketing, from business and everything, and now you're using that on your own. How does that feel? Like, so you ever never looked at it from an event standpoint? You always looked at it from just insight in marketing, or just
It's always been like, marketing is like my first love. So like, events is just an extension of allowing me to use what I've learned in marketing to get things done. So like, even way back then, like, people talking about digital marketing now, but you're talking about the message board. Right. We're talking about email lists like 17 years ago.
Yeah, you were on it, man. You've been on it.
Because like I said, Dre was there with me beating the streets. Leo was there, Kevin was there, and we're like, bruh, we gotta stand outside of Peacock on Thursday till 3 a.m. to hand out a flyer? Like, nah, yo.
Yeah, we gotta figure something out.
Right, yeah. We have to stand outside of Island Cafe until a big event is done for their banner to drop, for us to put up our banner. Like, nah. We're like, there needs to be a better and more systemized and more, like, more efficient way of getting people out, building relationships. So it's like, let's do the message board, let's create the website, let's build our email list. So what a lot of people don't know is that my background is in digital marketing from all that time. So when people are like, oh, these guys are, it's like, oh yeah, we got this other thing back here that you don't know about that we've been using. So like, over time, like now, like, Customer Mojo is since the end of 2016.
Yeah.
Like, people are like, okay, how are you doing that?
Right.
Because you're not on the streets, you're not out there kissing babies, handing out flyers at the barbecues.
You've earned your stripes though.
Right. Trust. Like, we've earned our stripes, and like, knock on wood, in terms of promoter years, like, we've we've taken probably like the least L's, period.
Yeah.
Because we've always been, let's sit down, let's think, let's strategize, let's be more efficient.
Yeah, you're not, you know, once again, it's like with most things, I tell people all the time, because people say, well, you know, it's like 1 million podcasts. I'm like, no, it's like 8 million podcasts. But the thing is, there's a lot of people who just sit around and talk, right? So,
True.
So there's a lot of people who don't strategize, a lot of people who don't plan a show out, a lot of people who don't organize, a lot of people who don't get good guests. A lot of, you know, they're just doing things. So it's the same thing.
Well, I don't know if I'm a good guest, but I'm here.
You're a great guest. You're
here.
great. But no, I'm the same. So it's similar because, like you said, you'll have people and they're like, okay, an event, let me go get this model. So walk through, they'll come through the party. It's a certain DJ.
I mean, one thing I like to do is sit and watch other people be successful. And also watch other people take their L's. And I'm like, yeah, I don't like that. So how can I not do that?
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? So it's like a lot of people think about events as, let's print a flyer, let's get the act, and let's book a date and a venue and let them come through.
Yeah.
But one approach was like, okay, we have to be more efficient, but how can we launch an event where, like a movie, like a mixtape back then?
Yeah, you're right.
Like
you were, man, now you say that, I'm thinking about that. You were doing this early on.
Right, so it's like, because we don't want to take
countdown. You had countdowns.
Right, we had countdowns like way back then. Like we created community, like we built relationships, you know, we made it so people came to us, so because we're not going to people, like all of those things built into a launch. By the time the event comes around, then it's like, oh shit, like this is crazy. Because one thing I hate, even to like to this day, even if a 1996 sold 3,000 tickets before the event, like that 1 hour sitting in the empty club still gets to me. Like even doing Thrive for how many years, you know people are coming, right? But so it's like, how can I orchestrate people, making sure people show up?
Wow.
So we have a great, because the thing about events is like, you win publicly, but you fail publicly as well.
That's a great point.
So it's
a great point.
How can I take less else publicly?
That's a great point.
So launching, community, digital marketing, all of that kind of stuff, like lend into that.
Yeah.
You know.
No,
so,
I mean, I never thought about that because like you said, you've seen people who had like a birthday dinner, and it went flat, but it's like, okay, it's their birthday dinner. Like I say, it's not like super public, but there's a difference between, you know, having a birthday dinner and then you having this big party, and it goes flat, and it's like
people are like, where everybody at?
Wow. But also too, I think once again being a little modest because I remember you talking about how you would just get up and just go to different events, whether it be a Sunday, whether it be a Tuesday. And I remember you said something one time, and you were like, man, Odell, like I went to an event on a Tuesday, and all you would, you know, and I was thinking about asking you about the music and stuff like that. You were like, I'm just trying to figure out how they got 2,000 people, how they got 1,000 people in this small room. Like so your wheels are already turning, and I was like, man, he really takes this stuff serious. Like I was just like, you know,
we could geek out on events all day. You know what I'm saying? So I think being that geek about events has led into like a customer mojo where. Like I don't want to be on stage popping bottles and all of that. Right. That's corny to me. Is like, what excites me is like planning the launch, creating that experience along the way, and then seeing it come to fruition, and saying, okay, we did that. You know, and it's like I don't even get excited about events anymore. It's like, okay,
and
we press these buttons, and this happened.
And now you're helping businesses do that. Helping people. By implying those same methods, these same techniques, and everything.
That's been fun. Yeah, that's been fun because it's like we've met a lot of people that they know the throw events. You know what I'm saying? Right. So like even like hitting up like a TO with AGP or whatever, and then running his ads through Customer Mojo. Because Customer Mojo is our ad agency where we focus on like Facebook and Instagram ads or whatever. Right. But even though we're focused on the ads, we spend a lot of time strategizing. And it's like, here's a strategy to get to that same point that you want to get to, but faster. So seeing the same things, because a lot of people pigeonhole us into Caribbean. But these strategies translate whether it's an event, whether it's Caribbean, whether it's hip hop, whether it's a biscuit that you're trying to sell. It's like you have to launch it. And like seeing these same principles being applied to an AGP, where it's like, oh shit, like, wow. Yeah. Okay, this works. Like when we even work with Luther, shout out to Luther, is like one of the original urban people that reached out to us. Prophecy events, where it's like, oh, we worked with First Friday and we worked with Professional Relaxation and we executed on the geek end, the back end that nobody gets praised for, and you're like, oh snap. Mad tickets sold because of this. It's like, okay. Yeah, we know what we're doing. So I'd rather be like the geek on the back end.
Well, no, I mean, it's the hard work paying off, and kind of bringing it to a close in that sense. Like we talk about that, right? Because like I mentioned, serial entrepreneur, but just balance of everything, because family, life. Like, what are some of your keys to doing all that, right? Because it's just staying creative, right? Staying, being there for your girls, but then also being there for your business. Being there, and you're having to give of yourself to other businesses as well, like you said, to strategize and stuff. What are some keys or things you're doing to keep yourself in tune?
So, I don't have that shit perfect. Like, it's not.
There's no perfect recipe.
There is no. I would be lying if I said I have it perfect.
No.
Right, but I've realized that over time, I don't believe in like balance like that. I believe at certain points in time, like you go hard in, I'm going to do this work up here, but it's going to allow me this time to take a break, to spend time with the kids or whatever, that type of thing. So I need to do a better job at that. So, and then your body will tell you too. It's like,
well, that's what I was going to say too, because we're both, as far as like you follow myself, you follow trends, talking about health, talking about just being vibrant, having energy, everything. Because it's a guy check out like Ed Milet, and he talks about business and finance, but he said that about like there is no such thing as balance, right? Like, and sometimes you want to be excelling in this, you have to go hard. Right?
Facts.
And you have to just balance it out. You have to say, okay, because he would say, okay, I want to make this amount of money, right? I know it's gonna piss my wife off, like I do to this point, and I'm gonna stop right here, and I'm gonna make her happy. I gotta do all these kind of things, and I think sometimes people think that greatness is gonna come without. You're gonna have to sacrifice some things.
Yeah, you have to sacrifice some things, like, and you have to be around people that understand that as well. Like you have to have, like I have great friends that know that I'm just gonna miss Leon for like a couple months because he's focused on this goal. Right. Like you have to sit down and have that conversation with your kids. Like, I'm doing this for these reasons, but trust me, I will be there for these events. That type of thing. And then, like, you want to balance your health and all of that, but your body will tell you like, okay, chill. So like to me, it's everything in spurts. Right. But one day but you get to the point where it's okay, let me bring in people that will make my life better. Let me bring
people that will add value, not drain.
Yeah, exactly. So like be a fountain, not a drain type thing. So it's like, let me bring in a systems person that will allow me to extract myself from the business. Gotcha. Let me bring in a cook or chef or whatever that will cook the food for me.
So spreading opportunities for the people too. You help spread dollars around you, and they help things like that.
Yeah, because you can't be balanced if you're broke. Like, like you gonna be struggling. You pick a struggle.
Oh
right?
Man, it's so many out there.
So it's work, it's getting there, and it's understanding yourself as well at the end of the day. So and hopefully we figure it out.
Hey, listen. I will give you tips as I get them, and you give me tips. We're still striving because, like I said, I feel the same way. I like, hey, listen, sometimes it's the same thing with you, right? Like, you might see me like, where's Odell been? But then I'll come up to a party, we'll talk for a couple minutes, and it's good. I understand. So I want you to tell the people how they can get in contact with you, your social media, give them anything that you got going on so people can stay connected to you.
Okay, so like personally, it's Go Trends.
Go Trends.
On everything. And then the business... the events is United Trends or Team Trends. And then Customer Mojo, that's the day in, day out right now. That's Customer Mojo is Bay. As I tell people right now. They're like,
you're doing classes and stuff and things?
We doing classes, we training people, and then we're just bringing value, the same things we've learned over time,
Yeah.
bringing value to other events, other e-commerce businesses, bringing those principles to them so they could blow up. So, which I definitely enjoy. So, Go Trends, Customer Mojo, Team Trends, that's where we at.
Listen, I'm so excited and happy that you decided to sit down because, like you said, you are someone who is more about just, hey, I just want to do the event. It's not about me. More behind the scenes. I mean,
now people could find me now. Like you got spotlights. Like, yo,
I'm just saying because people know who you are, but like you said, you've never really made it about that.
Right.
But I said, no, I want to sit down and talk with because I feel like it's not a small feat in one sense. It's not a thing where it's like I'm sitting here and just sitting praise, but it's somebody I know, and that's why I've seen grow because I feel like I've been part of it as well. I feel like, okay, we're going to these events.
Yeah, we're on the journey together.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I remember even when, because like speaking of Drake got the ticket for 1996. I was like, oh, this is where it's at? Mm-hmm. I was like, oh, really?
Yeah.
I was like, oh, wow, okay, this is a big deal. So, but finishing up, I was going to say, like, if you had to just give like a couple of keys or your motto for like how you've been able to build strong relationships, what would you leave the people with?
I think strong relationships, I think I even posted it today.
Okay.
But it's showing up and providing value to people wherever you go.
Oh, man.
Right?
Value word comes out.
And then providing value without, like, I need something back. Because, like, in today's age, everybody's being strategic. Like, I got to provide value to get value and position and network or whatever. Like to me,
line everything up.
Yeah, line everything up. To me, it's the most value I've gotten is because I've just given to people without expecting. And it might not be today, it might not be tomorrow, it might not be 5 years from now, but like tenfold. Like I've been super blessed, even with Customer Mojo, all the big accounts we get or whatever, it's through relationships and it's through giving without requiring somebody to give back to you. So like wake up every day and just bless people, give without expecting, and you get it back, yo. Like trust me, like tenfold, hundredfold.
Wow.
Yeah,
that's so true. And then also too, I mean, even with that said, I mean, if you think about that, even early on, I mean, because the fact that the way you provided value to me, me just coming up to that party, it is making me feel like, wow, like this is such a like you were so appreciated for coming up here, and to this day, still coming to events. So. This is someone who practices what he preaches, and I appreciate you deciding to sit down with me.
This is not even an interview. This is like a conversation with a friend, like you said. So,
but I mean, this is great, Jules. Great insight and tools and everything. And I hope everybody was listening. I hope you kind of watched, like you said, how everything came full circle, and also just want to talk about just the perseverance we're talking about because, like I mentioned earlier. A lot of times you're going to have L's, you're going to have things that are public, you're going to have things that are going to fall on your face.
Right.
But it's all about just dusting yourself off.
Right.
And just getting going and getting back started because I think that's the problem is that, we're going to face bad things, but it's about how long you dwell on it. And I think that's where I've gotten better in life is that I have things where I have setbacks. But now I don't dwell on them as long. Yeah. And the fact that I don't dwell on them as long, next thing I know,
it's back on it.
You're back on, and you're like, that was last week?
Yeah, like, I mean, that could be like a whole nother hour.
I know, right?
But you have to work out that muscle of resilience. Like you have to, especially if you're planning to be an entrepreneur. Yeah. Like I see people say like, I tried an idea and it didn't work out, so I'm done. I'm like, what? Like what? That's it. You that was like the first idea?
Right.
It's like you have to, like we've been through so many hits. Yeah. That like now if I got knocked down tomorrow, I might sulk for a day for sure. I'm human, but trust me, it's like, okay, let's go. Yeah. Yeah. And that's what makes like a me, a Tiwa, a Jay Carter, all of these people, like we post the best of it on the gram, but like we've been through it. But these guys are fully focused. Like these guys are at the place they are because they persevered and they pushed through the trial periods. You know what especially with events. Yeah. So shout out to them, but definitely perseverance is up there with one of the major qualities that you need to have. So yeah.
And also too, just as we close out, that's another thing about Trent. I feel the same way. He's someone who doesn't mind giving shine to other people. I mean, he mentioned some people that are in the same line of vein of what he does, some of the top people, without hesitation. And I think I've done the same thing. I think that when you come from a place where you have a wealth mind state, where you feel like there's enough for everybody,
there's more than enough.
There's more than enough. Yeah. So so that's just another little tidbit right there, is that you have people who won't mention even people in their same field because they feel like, I can't even mention this person's name. I mean, you're mentioning some of the top names, but it's just because it's enough room for everybody to win.
It's more than enough.
More than enough.
There's more than enough. So yeah.
So listen, I appreciate Trent, you joining me on the Roundtable. Once again, it's your boy Odell, Live Hip Hop Daily, Odell's Roundtable. I appreciate you tuning in. We're going to take a quick break. We're going to come back and close the show out. Peace.